Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for Jurassic World Rebirth.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews. Angry Andy Reviews.
Don't make me destroy you.
Okay, so Jurassic World Rebirth is the 7th entry in this franchise, if you can believe it, and it follows on in some respect from Jurassic World Dominion, I think it was. Dinosaurs are in a situation where they're only able to live in the equator now. They've been slowly dying off, and for whatever reason, public interest seems to have waned entirely with regards to dinosaurs.
Okay.
For a start, I don't buy that for a bloody second. We've always been fascinated with dinosaurs. It's a ludicrous sort of false narrative that this film sort of paints immediately, that nobody cares, nobody's interested in dinosaurs. Rubbish. We still attend zoos to go and look at capybaras and little tiny spotty frogs. You're telling me that nobody gives a shit about a giant brachiosaurus? Fuck off, film. You're absolutely talking out of your ass.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
But the whole premise of this film is that this businessman, this big pharma businessman, has discovered that he needs dinosaur DNA to rid the world of heart disease, and he formulates a plan alongside a mercenary group to go and get DNA from 3 very specific dinosaurs. They almost turn out to be like boss level stages, they have to overcome. And once this is achieved, everything will be great, everyone will be happy. So he hires Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and this paleontologist to go to the island alongside some other mercenaries who are obviously clearly red shirts, and that's a Star Trek reference. And off they go. They go to this island to collect this DNA. And alongside this is a side story where a family come across the island by mistake, and they get lost, they get stuck, and they get rescued. And it kind of just flitters on from there, really. I'm going to start by saying there are some decent moments in this. Gareth Edwards has a very keen eye for scale and for size, and creating, making it look like the creatures are much larger than they are. We saw that with Godzilla. The eye for scale and magnitude is there. You can see it. It does look really good in places. Some of the dino CGI is a little bit off, I'm going to be honest. But we also have Scarlett Johansson there and Mahershala Ali, and you can see that there's quality there. There's quality there. It just doesn't translate at all into a good story. This story is wafer thin. It's arse. It's predictable. You can see what's going to happen from the very off. And what irks me is that the whole premise of the film is greedy corporations, scrounging as much as they possibly can out of dinosaurs that nobody seems to be interested about. This is fundamentally the fucking guise of the film. It's Universal bludgeoning this franchise to death to try and scrounge as much money as they possibly can. It's hilarious. It's so on the nose. It's hilarious. And speaking of hilarious, there's few moments of comedy in this film that do not land at all. There's a scene where the paleontologist is chewing mints, mulling over a decision that he's quite clearly going to make and was always going to fucking make. And it's supposed to be funny, and it comes across completely fucking flat. And there are numerous moments in this film that come across that way. It's all just a bit middling. And for me, that's more painful than it being just outright terrible, which is how I feel about the previous Jurassic World movie, Dominion, where they brought back all the original cast only to fart them away into the wind, ultimately doing fuck all with them.
That is one big pile of shit.
This film has the audacity to do so much and achieve so little. It's bizarre. It's so middling in its efforts that's more painful, like I said, than it just being utter garbage. Yeah, there's no resounding moment in this film. There's no wonder. There are scenes, like I said, of scope and grandiosity. There's a nice shot when they're looking and they can see a whole herd of these giant sauropods, technical term for you, and it's designed to harken back to the original Jurassic Park. We have that moment where Alan Grant sees them, and it's wondrous and it's shocking and it's beautiful and it's mesmeric. It's designed to have that effect, but they're trying to replicate it so much so that you go, well, yeah, that's clearly just a reference to the original one, isn't it? It creates nothing of its own. It creates nothing of its own wonder and spectacle and grandiosity. And instead, we just spend far too much time, dealing with these abominations, as I call them, these other manufactured, they're all manufactured, these other, experimental dinosaurs. And none of them are really all that interesting. They never have been to me. The Indominus Rex wasn't interesting. The whatever the fucking thing was in the second, in Jurassic World, was it Fallen Kingdom? That wasn't interesting. The Therizinosaurus, I know that was a real one, but that wasn't interesting either. They made it blind for whatever fucking reason. All of these hybrids, all of these monstrosities, the D-Rex in this is fucking pointless. It's a toy selling exercise and that is it.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
You could remove him entirely and just have the fucking focus be on a T-Rex or a Spinosaurus or an Allosaurus or a Giganotosaurus, whatever the fuck you want. Carnotaurus, just anything that's already existed, anything that's already been real, and just do more with them. Do more with the established dinosaurs, and we'd be happy. But no, we focus on these hybrids, these flying raptors, they're dog shit.
Look, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
They're dog shit. They're not terrifying. The terrifying thing about Jurassic Park was how they created the terror in the simplicity of it all. And that's the thing that's missing. There's no craft in the simplicity. Jurassic Park worked so well because it was intelligent in its simplicity. It was able to craft an intelligent, engaging story with deep moments questioning, morality, the powers of God, our interference in nature, and yet it was able to still have this wonderful family adventure that everyone can watch and everyone remembers. We all remember every single moment in Jurassic Park. It's over 30 years old, and yet we still remember it. This film, you will not remember jack shit of it in 5 years' time. I will put money on it. I would bet you will not remember anything from this movie in 5 years' time. And I bet you, alongside that, you could still go frame for frame, line for line, scene for scene for Jurassic Park. Guaranteed you'd be able to do that. Everything here is just forgettable. There's no intelligence in the writing. And I'm not talking about Shakespeare. I'm talking about those moments that draw you in, that keep you interested. Character moments that you immediately latch onto them. You know who they are from the very first minute. Ian Malcolm, when we meet him on the helicopter, that laugh, the lines of dialogue and banter between him and John Hammond, we're invested immediately. There's nothing like that here in this film. It's all bloom and bluster. There is no small, intelligent craft at all in this film. And that's what's missing from the franchise. That's what's been missing from the franchise since The Lost World. The Lost World isn't perfect. I unashamedly like that film. Poor Eddie. But even there, it's missing there. These films do not do well away from the park setting. They never have done. It's funny. thinking about Jurassic Park, I'm thinking about Ian Malcolm's most famous line, which I'll paraphrase. They were too preoccupied with whether they could, they never stopped to think about whether they should. And that is this film down to a T. And there's also that moment from Jurassic World where Owen says, the dinosaurs, why do we need anything else? It's true, it all rings true. The fucking dinosaurs, for Christ's sake. Towards the end of the film as well, I couldn't help but think about the unfortunate title as it is, and I just thought about the line of dialogue between Daniel Plainview and Eli in There Will Be Blood.
You're just the afterbirth, Eli. No. They should have put you in a glass jar on the mantelpiece.
It's unfortunate, and that's how I feel about this film. And unfortunately for me, it's symptomatic that it all needs to end. It all needs to end. We have drawn too much out of this franchise to create so little. And it's bothersome that we've managed to create so little with such a great idea and great premise and great creatures. These are not fantastical creatures that like the Mummy or Frankenstein. These were living, actual creatures that existed in the past, and yet we're creating this bore fest of a franchise that's just trudging on, mopping up money left, right and centre, but achieving nothing in terms of memorability or legacy. This franchise should end. It should end now to cement the historic cinematic legacy of Jurassic Park before it turns into pure apathy. And to be fair, this film is pure and utter apathy for me. For everything it does well, the cinematography, the scope, the size of the dinosaurs, Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali doing their best, it falls away by unnecessariness. And this side story with the family just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. To be fair, they have the brunt of the action. The river scene is superb, but nothing else really matters. It's all that just end up in the way. And it smacks of two different stories that the studio couldn't decide on what to do. Do we run with full horror with the mercenaries? Do we run with full horror with the families? Oh, I don't know. Bugger it. Put them both in together and then we'll work around it. Except they end up cutting corners and it becomes just bland with both of them there. We take up too much screen time with either side and achieve nothing. What a damn shame. An absolute damn shame. But not an unexpected shame, to be honest with you. I had very little in terms of expectancy or hype around this film, and there we go. I've seen it. I will forget about it in approximately a day's time. There you are. So that's my review for Jurassic World Rebirth. If you're 100%ly into these films, then by all means, go and check it out. Like I said, it's not terrible, but it's not good. It is this middling, farting, dribble in the wind kind of movie. You'll enjoy it while you're eating your popcorn. You'll talk about it for an hour after you're finished, and then 2 weeks later you'll forget you've even fucking seen it because you sat watching Fantastic Four. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this film. It will be forgotten very, very soon. And yes, of course, there's the opening for a sequel, but do we really fucking need it? Ugh, no, but we've never needed a fucking sequel, have we? There we go. So that's my review for Jurassic World Rebirth. Go and check it out if you have to, if you're a completionist. But if you're looking for something game-changing or something that's going to give you that classical Jurassic Park feel, then it ain't going to happen. It's never going to happen. And the sooner we accept that and move on, the better. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.